morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a neat review. This is a neat new quadcopter that just came out, I'd say about a month or so ago. I just got my hands on one. This is the JJRC X1 Brushless quadcopter. Every once in a while, JJRC, you know, they have some strikeouts, but every once in a while they do hit one out of the park with a really cool technology increase. And what this is, the X1, is the lowest cost, ready to fly, brushless quadcopter currently on the market. This runs a little over $100, but with that in mind, it is a very powerful quadcopter. First off, you know, it's just a basic quadcopter. There's no headless mode. There's no one key return. There's no GPS, even though it has a fake GPS antenna on top. You know, it's just your basic quadcopter. I don't think it even flips. You know, this button here is not really a flip button. But what it does have is it has plenty of power, plenty of speed. A very maneuverable quadcopter. I did some initial test flights yesterday with it, as you can tell by the dust on the blades here. And I was very impressed with its ability. It can easily lift a camera, an action camera. Here I got a run cam attached. I even think it can has the power to lift a GoPro camera if you remove the waterproof case and just attach the GoPro Bear to this quadcopter. It should have enough power to do that. It's relatively stable in low rate, but set it to higher rates and this thing rockets. It has incredible pitch. It has incredible power. It is a very fast flyer. Overall, though, yesterday I did fly it, and I did notice one thing, though, that it tends to, like, you know, if you do a hard landing, it can tip. With that in mind, I'm keeping these prop protectors on here, prop guards on here, with the main reason being that since this is a brushless quadcopter, these motors stay in idle until you manually turn them off. Okay, so I recommend, you know, you put the prop guards on this thing. This has more than enough power to fly with those prop guards. It doesn't even seem to notice them when I was flying it yesterday. So, you know, just leave them on there. There's no reason to take them off. You will thank yourself because you will protect your blades. I need to protect my blades in particular, and that I got a demonstration model. I didn't get all the equipment that comes with the base model, and namely I didn't get a charger, I didn't get spare props, I didn't even have instructions for this, but that's okay. And my props, if you notice, are all the same color. I guess the actual production ones that are being sent off, the front props are a different color. Keep that in mind, folks. Mine is the same color because I received a demonstration model, and that one particularly had same color props. So let me talk more about this quadcopter. The battery that it uses is a 1300 milliamp hour. There it is here, 1300 milliamp hour, 7.4 volt battery. It's very similar in size, power, and dimensions to a Tarantula X6 battery. So with that in mind, a Tarantula X6 battery does work with this quadcopter. I tried it yesterday, and it works very well with this quadcopter. You know, the cheap $6 X6 battery, or Tarantula X6 batteries, they're very versatile. You can use them in this quadcopter, and you can also use them in the Flying 3D X6. Let's go over the transmitter. The transmitter is predicted to give you ranges of 300 to 400 meters, which is pretty darn spectacular, in that you're going to have a heck of a time seeing this black quadcopter more than 200 meters. So you should be able to fly it as far as you can see it. Things about it, this changes your rates. If you want to fly different rates, this is a function button. It looks like a flip button, but again, flip does not seem to work with this quadcopter. You press it and nothing happens. So, but something very special that you need to know about this transmitter is how to start the quadcopter, and it does have a very strange startup sequence to bring the quadcopter to idle. To do such, you need to bring both sticks down and out until you hear a beep, and then as soon as you hear that beep, you got to let go of this stick and rapidly move the left stick right, left, right, and that will bring the motors to idle on the quadcopter, and it'll be ready to fly. Now the second most important thing you need to know is how to turn off those motors. There's a couple ways to do that. You can bring the throttle down and out, but I don't recommend doing that because that will tip the quadcopter in a lot of cases. A very simple way to turn off those motors once they're in idle, and I recommend you learn this quickly, is this throttle trim button. Press down on it 2 times, 1, 2, and it will turn off those motors almost immediately. You need to know to do that because, again, this thing flies with the and it sits on the ground with the motors in idle, and if it actually accidentally tips over, those motors are going to try to keep on turning, and you could possibly damage the propellers and possibly damage the motors if they keep running, if they're at high speed when that happens. So again, learn to do this quick 2 times on this trim button, and it will shut down the motors. Other things to know, you can calibrate the gyros on the quadcopter, since this is a 6-axis quadcopter, by bringing the throttle down or both the sticks down and to the right and holding them there until the quadcopter beeps, and that will calibrate your gyros. I think that's about it, folks. Let's do a quick 6-minute flight. We're going to do a camera flight first again, and to do such, let's turn on the camera and plug in the battery, and we'll button up the door and go for a flight. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, I have the battery turned on, plugged in. Let's bind it to the quadcopter, and the way to do that, again, is turn the quadcopter on, and you'll hear a beep indicating that the quadcopter is bound to the transmitter. Now to bring it to idle, again, you bring it down and out till you hear the beep, right, left, right, and the quadcopter goes into idle, and I'm starting my timer, and to take it off, you increase the throttle, and I'm turning it and letting the wind take it for a bit. Now again, it carries this camera very readily. I'm in beginner right now, and I'm going to fly it around slowly, taking it upwind. Again, this first flight is a camera flight, and I just want to demonstrate some of its range. We'll take it out about 100 meters. Okay, and we're about 150 right about now, I'm guessing. Putting it into hover, and then do a gentle rotation, just to demonstrate its camera. I think I'm looking at the mountains now. I better come down, I'm getting a little bit high. Reducing throttle too. Showing the area. You don't want to go above 400 feet, folks. Okay, I'm going to higher rate now. And reducing throttle. And at high rate, full forward pitch. Reducing throttle further to bring it down even faster. Again, I was too high there. And see how it flies with those prop guards on? Not bad at all. Okay, I'm leveling it off over there, over the gully. That's, again, a good 200 meters away. And let me reduce the throttle too, so it doesn't do that ridiculous climb again. This thing has so much power, it takes off like a rocket easily, if you're not careful. Okay, now again, I have no idea which way it's pointed, but it's moving to the left, so I'm turning left, and I know that'll bring it back toward me. Okay, if you fly this thing, you know, at these ranges, you are going to need to know how to maintain orientation, you know, with movement alone. This is, in other words, this is not a quadcopter for beginners. I don't recommend it for beginners because you will lose it. Going way over there now. Okay, I'm going to bring it to hover. And reducing throttle to prevent it from climbing too far. Because this thing loves to climb, as you can see here, folks. So much power on this quadcopter. Rotating around the area. But again, it readily lifts a camera, as you can see here. Now what's the advantage of that? This quadcopter is small. So you can, this could be a backpack camera quad, if you so wish. You know, this isn't a monster, you know, CMX-8C or a Tarantula. Those carry a quad or a camera, but they're big brushed quadcopters. This one is small yet powerful and has fantastic range too. Let's bring it overhead this time. And rotating again and letting it go with the wind. Great quad. Like I said, every once in a while, JJRC hits one out of the park. And it appears that they've done it with this one. I like this quad. I like this quad a lot. I mean, with this quad, this is going to put the CMX-8C out of, well, maybe not out of business, but the CMX-8C is still a great beginner. Beginners can fly it. You know, I said that they can't because it's too big, but it is very stable, very gentle flyer. So maybe it's still good for beginners. There's my timer. Oh, there it is. Looking around the ground. I'm just flying around the desert here, showing this thing. We're still in intermediate. I haven't set it to high rate yet. I'm not going to do that because I'll just get pictures of the ground, and I don't care to just get pictures of the ground. But you see the range I get on this thing. How many minutes are we got here? We got about another minute, and then I'll land it. Let me bring it, for this last minute, I'll bring it in close so you can see it. But again, see how easily it lifts that camera with no effort at all. Go into beginner. Get a thumbnail while we're at it. And one more round around the park here, or around the desert here. It says in a park, this is a desert. Oh man, great flyer. A lot of people are going to want this in their stable. Okay, there's my 6 minutes. Let's bring it in and I'll show you how to shut it down. And then we'll go for a flight with a Tarantula battery. Now, careful. See what I mean? Okay, see the motors are turning. Turn them off. 1, 2, and it shuts them down. Let's demonstrate that real quick one more time. Starting the motors, shutting down the motors. 1, 2. Learn that. One more time, just to be sure you knew that. 1, 2, 3. The motors are started. To shut them down. 1, 2. Okay. Let's turn off that camera, and we'll go for a flight now without the camera using the Tarantula X6 battery. Hope you enjoy that flight. This is the Tarantula X6 battery, 1200 milliampere 30C. It's 80-30-63. What that means is it's 8 millimeters thickness, 30 millimeters in width, and 63 millimeters in length, as compared to the 82-30-60 what is this again? As compared to, forgive me folks, as compared to the X1's 82-30-60, which is 8.2 millimeters thickness, 30 millimeters width, and 60 millimeters length. So it's a little bit longer, but it's a little bit thinner at the same time. If you look, well, actually they look about the same thickness, so you know that's just a matter of opinion what the 88.2 might be. But there seem to be about the same thickness. So about the same thickness, about the same width, just a little bit longer for the Tarantula battery, and it does fit into that battery compartment. So let's go for a flight with the JJRC X1 with the Tarantula X6 battery to show you that this can fly. We'll do maneuverability flying with this battery, and I want to show you that it can use this battery. Now, why do you want to use the Tarantula battery? It's because they're dirt cheap and plentiful. They're everywhere, and they're good batteries too. If you have a Flying 3D X6 or a Tarantula or this quadcopter and WL Toys V262 or all its variants, you want this battery. It's a great battery. Right, left, right. Setting the timer. Timer's running. Let's demonstrate maneuverability of this quadcopter. Okay, right now we're in beginner's rate. Very docile, but again, I don't recommend this for beginners. Brushless motors are not good for beginners. Just too powerful. You can hurt yourself. Let's go to intermediate. Very, very maneuverable. You know, that's the yaw rate. Let's bring it in and show you that. There's the yaw rate at intermediate. Here's the yaw rate at expert. Good yaw rate, but what the difference is the pitch. Look at that thing. Going back to beginners because I can't even control. You can't control the turning in expert. It's tough. Intermediate though you can. Let me show you the climbing ability of this. The punch. Wow.